Hey Gators, this is Urban Education. This is Ryan speaking. How may I help you?
You've spent the last few years learning and practicing how to become an effective teacher. But this spring, you learned so much more than that. You learned patience, empathy, and perseverance. I'm so proud of all of you and can't wait to see you in your own classroom. Congrats, grads.
Congratulations, 2020 University of Houston Downtown graduate. This is unprecedented times, but you've made it. And I want to thank you for making University of Houston Downtown the campus that it is. It's because of you that we're successful. Congratulations.
My sincere congratulations to each of you on your graduation. You've overcame some serious challenges this semester to reach this goal and have proven you're strong and resilient. Take this strength with you as you enter into your professional life.
Congratulations, class 2020, you rock.
Congratulations to the spring class of 2020. You have survived Harvey, Imelda, and now the pandemic. Congratulations again, you are a survivor.
Okay, so let's try this again. Hey Gators, this is Ryan Robinson. Urban Education, this is Ryan speaking. How may I help you?
Hey Gators, Dr. Lincoln Lexi, despite a rough semester, you did it, you overcame, you finished UHD strong, and we couldn't be more proud of you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, graduates, you made it. You have shown an incredible amount of perseverance and what we call Gator Grit this semester. Those are skills that are going to directly go into your future classrooms. So stay in touch. Those of us here in Urban Ed are excited to read the next chapters that you'll begin writing in the fall.
So spring 2020, I will not be thinking about the coronavirus. Nope, I'm going to be thinking about you, the wonderful overcomers who rose up to the challenge of doing something new and innovative as student teachers. The best is yet to come. I'm incredibly honored to be able to wish you well on this milestone in your life. Congratulations, Gators. Love, Miss Brown.
Hi, grads. Just wanted to congratulate you on making it all the way through and enjoy your day. It's been really difficult, but we're very proud of you.
Congratulations to all the graduates for Spring 2020. Congratulations to the Kingwood Pathway students. Congratulations to the Downtown Pathway students. You guys are amazing. You rock, and we're so proud of you. Go out there and teach those kids.
Good morning, Katie. Hang on. Good morning, Gators. This is Ryan Robinson. And man, it feels like it was just yesterday. You were coming in and I was asking, are you here to do your PD interviews? Here we are now. That hard work, today we're honoring that. So let's swap these out for one of these. And I couldn't be more proud of you guys. Congratulations, 2020 graduates. Stay safe.
Good afternoon, class of 2020 educators, family, and friends. I am Dr. Crystal Burnett Sanchez, Chair of the Department of Urban Education. Thank you for joining us today as we celebrate the hard work and accomplishments of the teachers from the Department of Urban Education at the University of Houston Downtown. Every year around this time, for about the past decade, I have taken out my graduation regalia, driven to Minute Maid Park, and sat in the stands with thousands of others for about 3 hours to show some support for the graduates as they celebrated the completion of their bachelor or master's degree. But this year is different. This year we cannot congregate in large numbers. This year we must social distance. This year we are sitting in our living rooms, our bedrooms, our kitchens, and our backyards. This year we Zoom. But one thing remains the same, the reason for coming together. We are here to show support for all of you, to celebrate your accomplishments and to add a piece of normalcy to these unusual times. Buenas tardes a los educators de la clase de 2020, su familia y amigos. Soy la doctora Crystal Burnett Sánchez, presidente del Departamento de Educación Urbana. Gracias por acompañarnos hoy mientras celebramos el arduo trabajo y los logros de los maestros del Departamento de Educación Urbana de la Universidad de Houston Downtown. Todos los años, alrededor de esta época, durante la última década, saqué mi traje académico, me manejé al estadio Minute Maid y me senté en las bancas con miles de personas durante aproximadamente 3 horas para celebrar a los graduados mientras notamos el finalización de su licenciatura o maestría. Pero este año es diferente. Este año no podemos congregarnos en grandes cantidades. Este año debemos mostrar distancia social. Este año estamos sentados en nuestras salas, nuestros dormitorios, nuestras cocinas y nuestros patios. Este año tenemos Zoom, pero una cosa sigue siendo la misma, la razón por qué unirse. Estamos aquí para celebrar sus logros y para agregar un poco de normalidad a estos tiempos inusuales. Before I introduce our other guest speakers, please allow me to speak briefly to you. First and foremost, congratulations, Gators. You've reached the day that most begin to envision as soon as they start their college journey. Perhaps your path to today was short and relatively smooth, or maybe your journey was lengthy and sprinkled with roadblocks. In either case, you made it to your destination. Most of you balanced full or part-time jobs through your college career in order to cover your educational expenses and manage your family's budget, but you made it to your destination. For some, you began this journey with loved ones who are not here with you today, while others completed this journey with loved ones who were not there from the beginning. However, you made it to your destination. You persisted, you prayed, you studied, you laughed, you cried. You became upset. You came to terms with the situation. You fell, you stood up again. You realized the truth of the Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu's statement, the journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath one's feet. And with that, you kept walking. Essentially, you developed what we at UHD like to call Gator Grit. You accomplished this milestone. You've earned your Bachelor of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies or your Master of Arts in Teaching. In fact, if you're earning your Bachelor of Arts, you're the last class to earn this degree. With the passage of House Bill 3, we are now able to award the Bachelor of Arts in Education beginning the fall. You passed and are in the process of passing all of your certification exams, and you will have your teacher certification. You all are the leaders of the near and distant future. Your experiences will be different from mine, which began at the beginning of this century. You will not only have more technology, but you will be required to incorporate that technology. The student population will be increasingly diverse, and you will need to be a lifelong learner. You may choose to further your education or training with additional certifications or graduate degrees. You may join professional organizations or become a campus leader. But again, you must be a lifelong learner. A teacher must acknowledge that they are a role model, an inspiration, and an example for others. It is an inherent responsibility that comes along with this role. What type of model will you be? Whether it's your siblings, parents, co-workers, the children you student taught, or the kid down the street, you inspired someone along your journey. What type of inspiration are you? When you stand before the students 5 days a week for an entire school year, you are an example. What type of example are you? Although teachers do not recite a Hippocratic oath, we do have a code of ethics and standard practices for teacher educators. This code addresses your conduct in your performance, conduct towards your colleagues, and of course, conduct towards your students. The life of a teacher will not always be easy, but it will definitely be rewarding. If you find yourself losing your focus, go back to the code of ethics and remember what inspired you first to become a teacher. Be that teacher that students will consider one of the good ones. Finally, be proud of your accomplishments. Regardless if you are the first in your family to earn a college degree or the most recent in a long line of college graduates, recognize that you identified a goal for yourself, found motivation to work for that goal, and you accomplished that goal. Remember how you moved past obstacles and how you achieved your dream. Antes de presentar a nuestros ordares invitados, permítame hablarles brevemente. En primer lugar, felicidades. Han llegado al día de que la mayoría comienza a imaginar tan pronto como comienza su viaje universitario. Quizás su camino hacia hoy fue corto y relativamente fácil, o tal vez su viaje fue largo y lleno de obstáculos. En cualquier caso, llegaron a su destino. La mayoría de ustedes trabajaron de tiempo completo o parcial a lo largo de su carrera universitaria para cubrir sus gastos educativos y administrar el presupuesto de su familia, pero llegaron a su destino. Para algunos, comenzó este viaje con seres queridos que no están consigo hoy, mientras que otros completaron este viaje con seres queridos que no estuvieron allí desde el principio. Sin embargo, llegaron a su destino. Persistieron, rezaron, estudiaron, rieron, lloraron. Se enojaron, llegaron a un acuerdo con una situación, se cayeron, pero se pusieron de pie nuevamente. Se dieron cuenta de la verdad de la declaración del filósofo chino Lao Tzu. El viaje de 1000 millas comienza bajo los pies. Y con eso siguieron caminando. Esencialmente, ustedes desarrollaron lo que en UHD nos gustamos llamar Gator Grit. Han logrado este hito. Han obtenido su bachillerato de artes en estudios interdisciplinarios o su maestría en artes en la enseñanza. De hecho, ustedes son la última clase de obtener este título con la aprobación de HB3. Ahora podemos otorgar el bachillerato en artes en educación a partir del otoño. Aprobaron o están de proceso de aprobar todos sus exámenes de certificación y obtendrán la certificación de su maestro, de ser maestro. Ustedes son los líderes del futuro. Sus experiencias serán diferentes a las mías, que comenzaron a principios de este siglo. No solo tendrán más tecnología, sino deberán incorporar esa tecnología. La población estudiantil será cada vez más diversa y ustedes deberán aprender durante toda la vida. Puede optar por continuar su educación y capacitación con certificaciones adicionales o un título de posgrado. Pueden unirse a organizaciones profesionales o convertirse en líderes del campus. Pero, de nuevo, deben ser un aprendiz de por vida. Un maestro debe reconocer que es un modelo a seguir, una inspiración y un ejemplo para los demás. Es una responsabilidad inherente a este rol. Pregúntense, ¿qué tipo de modelo a seguir será? Ya sea que se trate de sus hermanos, padres, compañeros de trabajo, los niños que enseñaron este semestre o un niño del vecindario. ¿Han inspirado a alguien en su camino? Pregúntense, ¿qué tipo de inspiración será? Cuando están frente a sus estudiantes 5 días de la semana durante un año escolar completo, son ejemplos. Pregúntense, ¿qué tipo de ejemplos serán? Aunque los maestros no recitan un juramento hipocrático, sí tenemos un código de ética y prácticas estándar para educadores de Texas. Este código aborda su conducta en su desempeño, conducta hacia sus colegas y, por supuesto, su conducta hacia sus estudiantes. La vida de un maestro o una maestra no siempre será fácil, pero definitivamente será gratificante. Si encuentran perdiendo su enfoque, regresan al código de ética y recuerden que lo inspiró a convertirse primero en maestro. Sé ese maestro que los estudiantes consideran uno de los buenos. Finalmente, siéntense orgullosos de sus logros, independientemente de si ustedes son los primeros en sus familias en obtener un título universitario o el más reciente en una larga lista de graduados universitarios. Reconozcan que identificaron un objetivo para sí mismos, encontraron la motivación para trabajar para ese objetivo y lo lograron. Recuerden cómo se superaron obstáculos y cómo lograron sus sueños. Les deseo todo lo mejor. To continue our Department of Urban Education graduation celebration, I would first like to introduce Dr. Jonathan Schwartz, Dean of the College of Public Service, to recognize our graduates. Dr. Schwartz.
Thank you, Dr. Burnett Sanchez. So I'm John Schwartz, proud Dean of the College of Public Service. Congratulations to the 2020 Urban Education graduating class. We're very happy for you. It's my pleasure to congratulate you on your amazing accomplishments. Although it's not our traditional graduation, we want to really celebrate you for your graduation and for your bright future. We are thrilled for you and all you will accomplish. You've made your friends and family proud. I hope you take with you from our college and our urban education department a belief in yourself, a passion for pursuing social justice and equity, and a strong desire to be of service to others. Those are what I believe lead to a happy and successful life. As you enter the noble field of education, I am confident with your training, perseverance, and passion, you will make a positive difference in the lives of those in Houston and beyond. You are now an official UHD College of Public Service Gator alumni. I hope we stay connected to hear about all of your accomplishments in the future. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Schwartz, for inspiring our Gators. Many of you are probably familiar with our next speaker, Dr. Matthew Fugate, the Assistant Chair of the Department of Urban Education. Dr. Fugate.
Thank you. Good afternoon, graduates. I want to congratulate all of you on this momentous occasion. You have worked hard and have reached this milestone in spite of the roadblocks that were put in your path. This accomplishment is a testament to your resilience and grit. As you start the next chapter in your lives, I want you to remember something that we discussed on the first day of class in PD1. You are about to embark on an adventure that is a true calling. You are going to be more than just teachers. You will be researchers, managers, counselors, substitute parents, mentors, guides, and so much more. As such, your learning does not end here. You will continue to work and grow as professionals, taking ownership of your own learning by maintaining high expectations for yourself in the same way that you do your students. As you go out into your schools, remember that you will be role models for your students, showing them what it means to develop a passion for learning. Learning is a personal journey, and as teachers, it will be your job to guide your students as they discover their passions and build on their strengths. As many of you have heard me say many times in the past, as teachers, your role is to be facilitators of learning, not givers of knowledge. So, while you will spend your entire career learning the different ways that you can impact your students' lives, I want to share 3 things with you about what makes a great teacher. First, a great teacher makes learning fun because stimulating, engaging lessons are pivotal to a student's success. Making your classroom an exciting environment for learning will hold your students' fascination. They learn best when they are both challenged and interested. It is a part of motivating students which may not always be easy, but will benefit them immensely in the long run. Second, great teachers inspire their students. This is integral to ensuring their success and encouraging them to fulfill their potential. Students who are inspired by their teachers can accomplish amazing things, and that motivation almost always stays with them. Inspiration can take many forms, from helping a student meet their short-term goals to guiding them towards their future careers. I bet even now, years after your own high school graduations, many of you still talk about that particular teacher who fostered your love of education and may even attribute many of your current accomplishments to that teacher. Finally, great teachers are a trusted source of advice for students weighing important life decisions. As educators, you will help your students pursue higher education, explore career opportunities, and complete tasks they might otherwise have not thought themselves able to do. Students will look to you as mentors with experience and knowledge. This is an awesome responsibility, and it should not be taken lightly. I want to close with this poem by Mary Corson. When you thought I wasn't looking, you displayed my first report, and I wanted to do another. When you thought I wasn't looking, you fed a stray cat, and I thought it was good to be kind to animals. When you thought I wasn't looking, you gave me a sticker, and I knew that things were special things. When you thought I wasn't looking, you put your arm around me, and I felt loved. When you thought I wasn't looking, I saw tears come from your eyes, and I learned that sometimes things hurt, but that it's all right to cry. When you thought I wasn't looking, you smiled, and it made me want to look that pretty too. When you thought I wasn't looking, you cared, and I wanted to be everything I could be. When you thought I wasn't looking, I looked and wanted to say thanks for all the things that you did when you thought I wasn't looking. Go out and help kids learn, smile, and belong. Ask them hard and interesting questions. Try new things. It's time for some new stories of great learning, and that begins now. Go out and be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fugate, for those additional inspiring words and allowing us to recognize, and our future teachers to recognize, that people are watching us and they are being inspirations to our students, or the students in the school system on a daily basis. Next, we'll hear from Ms. Sine Punch Brown, coordinator for the Center for Professional Development of Teachers. Ms. Brown.
Good afternoon, Gators. Congratulations. For today, I'm going to get a little personal with you and share some of my own inside secrets. One thing that I rarely share in my life is that once upon a time, I was a really good runner. I was a 4-year high school varsity track and field team member who went on to run for Howard University. The thing I love about track and field is that for most outsiders, you don't realize it's a strategic sport. To each race, you bring your own strategy on how to run it. For the most part, your strategy is a mixture of races you've studied, experience you have had running past races, and your very own practice. The thing, however, is that if you've never pushed yourself in any of those things, past races or practice, you really had nothing to study but the races of other people. Although studying great track legends like Michael Johnson, Carl Lewis, Florence Griffin Joyner, and Jackie Joyner-Kersee, just to name a few, was a great start to study, study alone couldn't condition your body for the race in front of you. Study alone could not teach you how it would feel when you needed to dig deep, open up your stride, and go after the opponent in front of you. It was only fitting that although I never wanted to be a teacher, honestly, once I stopped running college track, I graduated and I found myself on the doorstep of a Washington, D.C. public middle school. I must admit that I went after that job. It didn't come to me. So in hindsight, education was my destiny. However, not 2 weeks after my first day of school, September 11th hit. The year was 2001. I remember where I was on that day. What I remember most, however, was catching a glimpse of a coworker who realized that his 6th grade daughter, Asia, who he had just dropped off at the airport for an early morning flight with her teacher, another coworker of mine, Miss Clark, was on flight 77 that crashed into the Pentagon. For the first time, it seemed as if my track and field strategies that I usually apply to life, they just weren't working. I was paralyzed until I went to the memorial services of Asia and Miss Clark. And you know what? You know what I saw? I saw teachers. I saw teachers upholding grieving students. Weeks after the tragedy, I continued to see teachers of multiple disciplines come together to support one another and members of the community that had been impacted. It was the power of these teachers who made the rest of my time at Bertie Backus Middle School part of the experience that I would use throughout my career and my life. That tragedy became part of my strategy. Gators, it's now your turn to run. The baton is being passed to your hands. You have strategies in your toolkit, whether you believe they were gifted to you by your professors or whether you believe you had to find them on your very own. Whatever the case may be, you have these tools. Add to that the challenges of COVID-19, in-person student teaching assignments cut short to make way for online learning. You rose to the challenge. You rose up to a task for which you were not formally prepared. You contributed to a solution. And now here we are preparing you, and you are preparing to run your own race. Always remember that you have everything you need in that UHD toolkit. Sometimes you may not even know until you have to open up that stride, dig deep, and run to be the solution that you've been seeking. There may be tragedy, Gators, but you are the triumph. There may be heartache, but you, Gators, are our hope. There may be pain, but you have the power. We send you off with love. Know that we, the Department of Urban Education and the Center for the Professional Development of Teachers at the University of Houston Downtown will forever be a part of your village. It's your time, Gators. Get your mind right. Lean in to your strategic toolkit. Dig deep, open up your stride, and run. Go reach your goals. I thank you for being the first cohort of students whom I had the opportunity to serve from placement to graduation. I will never forget the spring class of 2020. Congratulations, Gators.
Thank you, Ms. Brown, for that inspirational speech. I appreciate the running track metaphor. And Gators, the baton is now in your hands. Take it and be great. Now I want to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Nathan Boughton. He is the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources in Cleveland ISD. Dr. Boughton.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I really want to thank you for the opportunity to speak with you on this incredibly important day. I have to be honest with you. When I was asked to be a part of your graduation today, not only was I honored, but at the same time I was frightened. After all, this is one of the very last messages, the last teachable moments you'll have at the University of Houston Downtown, so I can't blow it. As fellow teachers, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. This is like that university observation where you want everything to be absolutely perfect. Well, as you know, all the parts of a lesson are important. The warm-up, the hook, the delivery of that content, the checking for understanding. But we all know it's really those last 2 minutes of class, right before the students head out the door for the night, that are some of the most crucial moments in the lesson. And it's that last minute or two when you really can impact a student. It's that moment where you hope you gave your students the tools and the encouragement and the supports to get through whatever challenges they're going to face outside your classroom overnight. It's that last motivating pat on the back and you saying, "Can't wait to see you tomorrow, but don't forget your homework." This, my fellow UHD teachers, is my last 2 minutes with you before you take over your own classroom as a teacher. So on this wonderful day when we're gathered together virtually to celebrate your academic successes, I want to spend those last 2 minutes talking about service and service heroes. You see, you're beginning your teaching career at perhaps the most pivotal time in education. With millions of people out of work, families separated from loved ones, and students isolated from peers, we as teachers have had to become frontline service providers. We, you, have become heroes. Now, normally when we talk about service or service providers and even heroes, we think of those like my oldest son, who are willing to sacrifice their lives to serve in the military, protecting our freedoms so that we could have the opportunity to go to University of Houston Downtown, and so we could pick the career that we wanted. For millions of people throughout the world, going to college, selecting a career path, is just not an option. When we think of service heroes, we also think of those who are on the front line, those responders. those individuals who put on the fire hat, a jacket, some boots, and then they answer the call of duty when the fire alarms ring. We think of those who turn on the siren and drive at breakneck speeds through the streets of Houston just to reach a home where a panicked resident is on the phone, worried for his or her safety. We think about those frontline responders who put their lives at risk every day when a sick loved one, perhaps with COVID-19 symptoms, needs immediate medical assistance. And as we've seen over the past few weeks, service heroes have also emerged from places we really never thought about. The checkout cashier at HEB or Kroger or Fiesta, who unselfishly came to work when so many of us were afraid to even leave our homes. And just like in the district you student taught in, the cafeteria workers right here in Cleveland ISD, my home school district, never took a day off. From the very first day of the shutdown, these amazing ladies and gentlemen have packed tens of thousands of breakfasts and lunches, and they've stood out in the rain, in the blazing sun, day after day, week after week, to make sure our students received a nourishing meal in time of need. And just like those cafeteria workers, UHD teacher alumni throughout the city of Houston, teachers like you have become service heroes. Earlier, I made the statement that you're entering education at a pivotal moment in history. And it's true. You're entering the profession at a time when, really for the first time ever, our teachers and education leaders have had to rethink how instruction is delivered. A time when instruction is taking place outside the school walls. From the moment schools were physically closed, teachers quickly retooled, and they began developing new and innovative ways to instruct students. They began using Zoom, just like today, to teach whole groups. They found ways to connect with students by reading stories on Facebook Live. They sent out learning packets and talked individually with students on the phone to make sure they understood the new concepts. Teachers began reading contests, art contests, and online challenges to keep our students engaged. I watched as teachers created online lessons that were exciting and interesting. Maybe not as interesting as Forge of Empire, but they got pretty close. When students didn't have internet access or technology, our teachers started going out in school buses. In Cleveland, we called them the MLBs, the Mobile Learning Bus. That was a kind of a fun thing for us. And we sent them into the community where students could check out a Chromebook, have access to a wireless hotspot, and could complete their work. And if they needed assistance, there were teachers on the bus right there ready to help out. They were ready to be heroes. Perhaps the most impactful heroes, however, did something a little bit different. They provided emotional support in times of need and times of isolation to our students. I watched as UHD teacher alumni organized teacher parades, cars honking, balloons tied to bumpers as they drove down the street waving to students on their birthdays, reassuring students that while the brick and mortar building may be closed, the school community was still open. The students were still important, and each student was a recognized member of the classroom. As you take over your classroom this fall, there's a good chance that it'll look a little bit different than just a few months ago. Perhaps it'll be a blend of online and face-to-face instruction. You may return to a flexible schedule, and perhaps your class roster will be staggered using an A-day, B-day philosophy. While there are lots of unknowns, one thing is a certainty. When we return this fall, our students need UHD teacher heroes. They need you. Our students have lost 16 weeks of instruction. They need you to plan amazing lessons that connect with them. Your students may be frightened. They may feel isolated. Some may even be experiencing a loss. And that's why you chose to become a teacher hero. That's why you attended the University of Houston downtown. You chose a university program that would equip you with the tools our students need to be successful in this dynamic environment. Your students are going to need teacher heroes who are willing to be more than just a teacher. They need a frontline teacher hero who will be a cheerleader when they're down, a counselor when they need to talk, a coach when they need guidance, and a role model who understands their reality. They need to know that you care about them and are willing to help them through their basic needs. They need a teacher that will help create a foundation that lasts forever, not just for 1 year or one grade. but most importantly, they need a Gator. So today I stand proudly next to you, knowing that you will teach the next generation of leaders, the next generation of heroes. I thank you for your service. I'm proud to stand with you. Now, go be a change agent and a difference maker. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vaughton. I love the idea of being a service hero. And if you guys think about it, the Department of Urban Education is in the College of Public Service. So if you never made the connection, I believe that Dr. Vaughton's speech and his words of inspiration should help you make that connection now. We've seen through these times that teachers have finally, if not before, been lifted up and recognized and their work recognized for what they do, because people are now seeing, oh, okay, teaching isn't something that just anyone can do. So thank you, Dr. Vaughton. We're now going to continue with words of inspiration, but from urban education alumni. These urban education graduates want to share some motivation and some of their own experiences to help you transform from teacher candidate to teacher of record. First up, we have Baltasar Pacheco. He is currently finishing up his master's degree in history at Texas Tech University, and he will continue on in the fall as a PhD student, again in history. Mr. Pacheco.
Good afternoon, fellow Gators, faculty, and staff. My name is Baltasar Pacheco, and I'm a first-generation college student. I grew up my life to a poor, uneducated family. When I first came to UHD as a freshman, I never thought I was going to be able to get a bachelor's degree, let alone graduate with the highest honors, or that I would achieve my goal of getting accepted to graduate school, or to get accepted to a PhD program. I was scared, and I was also anxious because nobody in my family had ever attempted to attain a bachelor's degree, and nobody had ever succeeded. During my time at UHD, I suffered and I went through many adversity and trials such as financial problems, mental health trials, family losses, doubt from my friends and society, and many others that I just went through when I was at UHD. However, despite everything I went through, I succeeded because of the support system at the University of Houston downtown. I succeeded because of the support system of my professors. I succeeded because of the support system that my family gave me. However, I also succeeded not because I was the smartest or I was the most talented person in my classroom. I succeeded in my classes because of the hard work, the drive, the motivation, and the commitment that I possess as a student and as a person. I never shied away from any challenge, and I gave school my everything because my life depended on it. I attended UHD from 2013 to 2017, where I graduated with a bachelor's degree in history and a minor in philosophy. I graduated as summa cum laude. I then applied to 5 graduate schools, and I got accepted to 4 of them. I ended up at Texas Tech University, where I received funding to finish my master's degree. A few months ago, I was accepted to the PhD program at Texas Tech University, where I plan to continue my studies. Throughout my 4 years at UHD, I learned the importance of giving back, embracing diversity, learning how to be an effective writer, learning how to be an effective citizen, learning how to be an effective critical thinker. I learned valuable skills that helped me in my graduate program, and I can honestly say that I learned a lot from every professor at UHD. I first want to congratulate you on this journey you have been on for the past couple of years. I want to congratulate you on persevering through the ups and the downs. My admiration goes towards each and every one of you because I know at firsthand experience how hard getting a bachelor's degree may be. Many of you are about to embark into real-world jobs in your field, or some of you will attend graduate school like me. Regardless, I implore each and every one of you to continue to stay committed to the process of each of your future journeys. Now, because whether you realize it or not, you're beginning a new journey. You control your destiny, and I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Just remember to never give up, never give in, stay committed, and you will succeed. Be the best teacher that you can be. Approach every aspect of your life with the same passion that you approach your education. Remember and teach others about the value of education and why teaching is important. Keep pushing and don't give up. Despite whatever you go through, keep persevering. Nothing is impossible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pacheco, for speaking to our graduates and helping them recognize that they, just like yourself, can create their own path to success. Si se puede. We're now going to move to Ms. Alejandra Villarreal, a first grade dual language teacher at Brown Elementary, who is also Rookie Teacher of the Year at her campus. Ms. Villarreal?
Hi, good afternoon, and congratulations, class of 2020. My name is Alejandra Villarreal, and it is a privilege to speak before you as you get ready to embark on this new journey as teachers. First, I want to thank you for pursuing a career in this field. You'll be responsible for 10 months of incredibly important developmental stages of each child. There's a possibility that some kids will see you more as a parent or even look to you for guidance like they would a mother or a father. I grew up in a household where nothing was more important than school and education. My parents worked tirelessly to provide as much support for my older brothers and I. They always encouraged us to give 100% of ourselves to every assignment, project, or job that crossed our paths. It is their drive that inspires me to do the same for the future leaders of our world. During my first month as a teacher back in August, I felt nervous to be standing in front of a group of first graders that I just hoped would like me. At times, I felt that being a teacher wasn't for me, but it truly is much more than teaching the curriculum. It's earning these kids' trust so that they want to come to your classroom. It's building a relationship so strong that they will never forget how you made them feel. I was recognized as Rookie Teacher of the Year, and my students' families planned out a car parade for my birthday last Friday. I felt their unconditional love. During my very first education class at UHD, Dr. Hewitt once told us, being a teacher may not mean being rich in the bank, but it definitely means being rich in your heart. I am very fortunate to have had amazing professors at UHD that always inspired me to be great. Because of them, I was an ambassador, and I'll be starting my master's degree this fall. I aspire to be as influential and passionate like my professors were with me. With that being said, I have a quote for you that I'll say in Spanish and then translate in English. Los maestros a los que les apasiona enseñar, enseñan a los niños a apasionarse por aprender. And that means teachers that are passionate about teaching, teach children how to be passionate about learning. It's important to make sure that you are your true self with your students because that is how you make your connections with them. Be involved, advocate for them, have drive, and be ambitious. Your hard work has paid off, and you are all prime examples of having Gator grit. It is my absolute honor to congratulate the University of Houston Downtown's Urban Education Class of 2020. Go Gators!
Thank you, Ms. Villarreal, and congratulations on your acceptance into graduate studies. Thank you also for providing us a little bit of a glimpse into your passion. I know that's the one thing that I always remember about you is how passionate you were about everything that you've done. And we can see that being acknowledged as Rookie Teacher of the Year, 1 year's time, we see that passion, you continue to have it. Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Victor Becerra, who is a 5th grade self-contained teacher at Port Houston Elementary. Mr. Becerra?
Hello, and congratulations to all of you. Just want to say I'm very proud of all of you. I know this is not what you all had imagined going into your last semester at UHD. You probably thought to yourself, I can't wait to be inside the Minute Maid Park for 8 hours to get my name called and see myself in the big screen. Yeah, I made it. On second thought, man, maybe this isn't so bad. With that being said, I always like to look at the bright side of a bad situation. I'm sure all of you at one point or another had an unexpected or unfortunate event happen to you while pursuing your degree. And maybe during those tough times you wondered, is it worth it? I asked myself that question many years ago. One day I was driving on 59, heading to class, when suddenly my car just turned off. I pulled to the shoulder lane as fast as I could. I missed class. Dr. Burnett Sanchez wasn't too happy about that. I fell behind in class and I struggled to catch up. And I asked myself, is it worth it? During my journey, I sacrificed spending time with my friends and family. My aunt passed away. A doctor told my dad that he only had a few months to live. My mom's diabetes got really bad. I was overwhelmed with life. And on top of that, I still had to upload my homework onto Blackboard. I was struggling financially during my last block or PD. Working part-time and doing my student teaching was no easy task, which again made me wonder, is it worth it? Eventually in 2015, after I passed all my tests, get on that, I got to sit down for 8 hours and see myself in the big screen. Then I got a job at the elementary I attended as a kid, Roy P. Benavides. That's when I started to find the answer to my question, is it worth it? Let me tell you this. When a student tells you, Mister, thank you for teaching me how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, or Mister, thank you for showing me how to tie my shoelaces. Oh, and by the way, they won't call you by your last name. You're either Mr., Miss, Mom, or Dad. It's a constant battle. It's not worth fighting with them. I want to say this to all of you. We as educators have a lot of power in our words and actions. These students really do listen and admire us. They may not show it, but trust me, what we do and say means a lot to them. These children that will be in your classrooms are our future. We need to not only teach them math, science, reading, writing, social studies, etc., but also help them become good citizens in the world to prevent tragedies like those happening now. You as future teachers have the opportunity to make a difference. And I know that all of you will go above and beyond for your students. You know why? Because it's worth it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Becerra. The question, is it worth it? I'm sure all of us have had these times where we have that question in our head, but we refocus ourselves. We overcome those obstacles and those struggles. And as Mr. Becerra stated, we're giving back. We're helping form the future. So if we want a better future, that starts in our classrooms. Thank you, Mr. Becerra. Next, we'll continue with Miss Noemi Serrano, 6th grade teacher at Cobb 6th grade campus. Ms. Serrano?
Good afternoon, graduates, faculty, and staff. It's an honor to be here on this very special and very unique occasion. I know it's a big special day for you guys. Congratulations, graduates. You did it. You worked hard, and despite the difficult circumstances that the world is in right now, you worked hard and you're here. It's your big day. I'm so excited for you. I remember I was so excited on my day. So I want to share that excitement with you. As previously mentioned, my name is Noemi Serrano, and I'm a first-generation graduate, actually not only from college, but also from high school. I was born and raised in Houston, so ultimately I decided to stay in Houston to go to the University of Houston downtown for my bachelor's to stay close to my family. And currently I'm working on my master's for counseling. I learned so much in those 4 years that I was at the University of Houston downtown. And one of the biggest lessons was that life will always throw curveballs at you. In your case, one of them could be the coronavirus, the pandemic that not only here, but the whole world is having to deal with at the moment. It's pretty obvious that you worked hard and you dedicated yourself to accomplish the goal that you set for yourself the moment you received your acceptance into the PDs here at UHD. In my case, my semester of student teaching, my unique circumstance was Hurricane Harvey. I remember I was doing my student teaching and the school where I was assigned got closed, UHD got closed, and my family got affected as well. But thanks to all the support from my friends, family, and the awesome professors at UHD, I was able to keep working hard, and I did not let those struggles defeat me. Another lesson that I learned was that you shouldn't be scared to take a leap of faith. Whenever I started teaching, or I started pursuing my teaching career, I knew that I wanted to teach the lower grades. I always saw myself teaching first graders, pre-K, kindergarten, singing songs with them while I was teaching. And I got lucky enough to do my student teaching with kindergarten. I also got lucky enough to start my first teaching position with first grade in January. So you can imagine how hard and difficult and chaotic that must have been, getting put into a new classroom with 25 and 6-year-olds that you've never met before in the middle of the year. Well, needless to say, it was difficult. It was rough. I'm going to be honest with you. It took so much for me to get the hang of simple things like lining them up in a single line. And then I don't have kids, so I feel like that was double the work for me because I wasn't used to being 8 hours straight with kids that small. Well, that following summer, I decided to apply at a school, a 6th grade campus. I went to the interview, I got the job, and so I decided, let's go for it. I forgot to mention that previously, I always told myself, I'm never going to teach middle school. I'm never going to be teaching those preteens who give you attitudes and think they're so grown. Well, August came and I was thinking to myself, what did I just do? Am I ready for this? I look like a high schooler sometimes. I wonder if they're gonna think I'm their sister or something. They're not going to respect me. I was so nervous. But guys, I honestly think that was the best leap of faith I've ever taken. It's the best decision. I love my kids. I love those preteens. It was such a great experience for me my first 2 years that I was at my 6th grade campus. I even won Rookie of the Year, and honestly, that was such a great honor because coming from being so self-conscious and not secure about the way that I was doing things in first grade to actually being recognized for being one of the top teachers that year. So that was a great, great honor. But why am I telling you this? Well, because I think everyone has their preference on grade levels, but mainly I'm telling you this because I think it's important to not be scared to try new things, not only in life, but also in the classroom, because I promise you 9 out of 10 times, the lesson plan will not go as planned. You're going to have to change things every day, every minute. And it's something that to me was so amazing to realize, and it made me appreciate my teachers from elementary all the way to high school because it's a lot of responsibility that they had on their plate. Again, like in the classrooms, not everything's perfect. So just keep that in mind. Your life is not going to be perfect. The classroom's not going to be perfect, but you should not let those struggles defeat you. And as a fellow UHD alumni, I can tell you that you have received one of the best learning opportunities. UHD has provided you with a lot of opportunities to be engaged in the community. And I think that helps a lot when it comes to having to have conversations with parents, with your coworkers, building those relationships with your future bosses, but most importantly, building those relationships with your students. We are someone that they will always look up to. They are going to see our flaws. They are going to see our best attributes, but guys, be the best version of yourself, because whenever you give them the best of you, they will remember you forever. And I'm about to go on my 3rd year of teaching, but I'm still learning. I'm sorry, 3rd year of teaching 6th grade, but I'm still learning. So as you keep going, as you start on this new teaching journey, remember that you're never, ever going to stop learning, and don't underestimate yourself. I want to thank all the parents, all the family members, friends that have been there for you guys. I know that sometimes it can be very hard whenever you have personal struggles. I'm going to say it in Spanish too. Yo quiero agradecer a todos los padres y familiares y amigos que han estado ahí para los graduados durante todo este tiempo. Es un momento muy orgulloso para todos nosotros porque ustedes están ayudando a los futuros maestros que van a ayudar a los niños que hoy más que nunca nos necesitan. These kids need us now more than ever, guys. So keep working hard and don't forget that you are future teachers and changers of life. And that is it.
Thank you, Ms. Serrano. Just to highlight some of the points, I appreciate your honesty, showing the weight of being the first to do something in your family, but acknowledging that if we are being our best self, then we give that to our students so that they in turn can do their best. The idea of taking a leap of faith, finding your niche, which it sounds like you did. It wasn't the lower grade schools, it was the middle schoolers. And you're right, everybody does have their preference, and it's important that you find that, and I think you've done that. And so to our future teachers, that's one of your tasks, to find your niche in education. We'll now continue with our last alumni, Miss Kimberly Paris. Kimberly Paris is a pre-K teacher at Fawnwood Early Childhood Center. Miss Paris.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kimberly Paris Shorts, class of 2017, graduate of University of Houston Downtown, teaching at Fawnwood Early Childhood School in Houston ISD. I know that this is not the graduation ceremony you envisioned to have this year. People have lost their lives and their families are grieving during this pandemic. Others have lost their jobs and their plans for their future seem farther than ever. I know many of you have suffered from some of these things too. I'm going to tell you something that has helped me get through this unexpected hard time. The first thing is, don't be so hard on yourself. You've done the best you can with what you have, and don't let anyone tell you different. Next, know who you are, stand for something, and don't be afraid to try again. Be bold, be courageous, be your best. Keep your goals and your standards high. If an opportunity doesn't knock, build a door and go through it. Nothing is going to happen overnight. So give yourself time to relax and enjoy being the most amazing, fearless, and resilient graduating class of 2020. I wish you well.
Thank you, Ms. Paris. Some of your words of wisdom, don't be so hard on yourself. I know for people, not myself, who are perfectionists, that might be difficult. But as you've heard from all of the alumni and other speakers, this is just part of life, and you can become better because of it. Knowing who you are. When you're in that classroom, you will be tested and you will be tried. But if you stand your ground knowing who you are, you will be successful. And then finally, I wanted to point out the idea of keeping high standards and high goals for yourself, and not to let other people tell you that you're not doing a good job when you know you're giving your best. Now it's time to honor the graduates in another way. A number of graduates have submitted slides that highlight themselves, their accomplishments, and we want to play that video and celebrate with them as they are receiving and have received their Bachelor of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies or their Master of Arts in Teaching. Yay. Wow, ¿qué más puedo decir? Que wow. Hasta ahora, esta ceremonia se ha centrado en celebrar sus logros, logros de que los deben estar orgullosos. Sin embargo, antes de que terminemos, quiero brindar una oportunidad para que nuestros maestros, los graduados, nuestros educators, reconozcan a quienes caminaron junto a ellos en este viaje. La familia y amigos que formaron la red de apoyo que lo ayudaron a llegar a este punto. Hay un proverbio africano que dice que se necesita una aldea para criar a un niño. Asimismo, se necesita un sistema de apoyo para obtener un título universitario. En estos tiempos diferentes, inusuales y a menudo difíciles, les insto a todos a que nos apoyemos en nuestros sistemas de soporte, nos mantengamos conectados y busquemos ayuda si la necesitan. Del mismo modo, les pido que nos cuidemos. Ustedes son los maestros, los líderes, los motivadores y las inspiraciones para los estudiantes en su salón de clase y en su campus. A veces, las responsabilidades de un maestro pueden ser una carga pesada, pero recuerda que tienes un red para ayudarse a cargar esa carga. Cuando salga de la Universidad de Houston Downtown, sepa que permanecemos aquí para apoyarlo. Y queremos saber de nuestros alumnos. En nombre de la facultad y el personal del Departamento de Educación, el decano de la Facultad de Servicio Público, aplaudimos sus logros y les deseamos lo mejor. Felicitaciones, clase de 2020. Wow, what can I say? Thus far, this ceremony focused on celebrating your accomplishments for which you should be proud. However, before we end, I want to provide an opportunity for our teachers, our graduates, our educators, to acknowledge those who walked alongside them along this journey. The family and friends who formed the support network that helped carry you to this point. There's an African proverb that says, it takes a village to raise a child. Likewise, it takes a support system to earn a college degree. In these difficult, unusual, and often trying times, I urge us all to lean on our support systems, stay connected, and reach out for help if you need it. Similarly, I ask that we each look out for each other. You are the teachers, the leaders, the motivators, and the inspirations for the students in your class and on your campus. Sometimes the responsibility of a teacher can be a heavy load, but remember that you have a network to help you carry that load. As you leave the University of Houston Downtown, know that we remain here to support you, and we want to hear from our alumni. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the Department of Urban Education and the Dean of the College of Public Service, we applaud your accomplishments and we wish you well. Congratulations, class of 2020, urban education teachers. If you have your little tassel, you can turn it to the side if you'd like. Congratulations, guys.